Hi, this is Martin Veach for Mining Magazine, Australia Mining Monthly. Today we have with us Christian Erdelyi. Christian is from Kal Tire, one of Canada's premier tire service and insight companies, and he's going to be telling us a little bit more about that. Christian, welcome.
Thank you. Nice being here.
Yeah, Christian, maybe for the people who aren't experts on Kal Tire, you could tell us a little bit about the company. I believe you're Canadian owned, right? Tell me a little bit about the company and maybe how you intersect with the mining sector.
Oh yeah, so we are Canadian based, Canadian owned. Kal Tire was founded in 1953, so we have our 71st year of birthday here. So Kal Tire has several divisions. There's the retail division, so we operate stores across Canada from coast to coast, where you can get in with your car and have tires changed and brake repaired and this kind of things. We have a tire retreading division where we retread commercial and OTR tires. We have a recycling division with first-in-kind recycling plant in Chile where OTR tires get recycled. We operate an innovation center where we look at creating tools that we need to do our jobs, right? I work for the Mining Tire Group, which is spread out over 5 continents, and in total Kal Tire is employing more than 6,500 team members across the globe.
Yeah, pretty substantial. I wanted to ask you specifically about TireSight, because for those who don't realize it, tires aren't just a kind of product that you're selling anymore. It really becomes much more of a service, and you're able to remotely, as I understand it, examine the wear and tear on that tire and provide some sort of counsel or education or insights for the customers. Tell me a little bit about TireSight and how that came about.
Okay, so one of our main purpose around servicing our mining customers is to ensure that trucks are safe and sound, and the tires on those trucks are safe and sound for the truck to be productive and operate and to get to its next scheduled service. And mining tires, specifically in the ultra large segment, so 63-inch, are quite a rare commodity, right? There's not an abundance of supply, and for you to operate a truck, you need those tires to perform as best as they can, so you can get the most life out of them, right? So in order to ensure this, our team members are working on mine sites across 5 continents to regularly inspect those trucks, so they are safe to continue to run to the next service. And those inspections, they include a visual component where normally the truck is parked somewhere, either in a fuel station while the truck is being refueled, or there are examples where it is happening before the truck goes and being loaded, or during the operator hot seat change. And when we do this, the inspector has to cover 6 tires on the machine. The tires are up to 4 meter high, 4 meter wide, so they're quite large. And due to our human capabilities and human sizes, we can only see so much when we go and inspect the machine, right? We can only see towards we can see with our eyes, and we cannot see inside the tire. And often conditions that already exist, like sealed separations or other type of tire damages, they remain hidden from the human eye. And later in the production cycle, that tire or truck is failing because we were not able to see certain things because we don't have X-ray eyes, right? It also gets down to getting the information into the system, right? Traditionally, we use pen and paper or mobile applications where the inspection results getting captured, and then at some point in time, they get into the system, and at some point in time they get into the planning team, so that certain decisions can be made on how we want to proceed with the machine, what's the priority, what's the follow-up action. And we've been out there looking for ways to make this process easier for our team member in the field, right? To help them with inspecting more of the machine more easier and getting the information more easier into our TOM system, in our tire operation management system. And this is where we came across our partner PitCrew AI in Australia, who offered their autonomous technology, which we started to test at some mine sites. And rest is history. From there, we built our TireSight product, which is the integration of PitCrew's autonomous inspection into our TOMS system ecosystem, and where we allow to use best of both worlds, right? So the PitCrew system, the PitCrew technology is scanning the truck as the trucks drive by on mine sites, and we pick strategic locations for those systems to be, depending on what we want to drive, right? If we're looking at preventing hot tires, if we're looking into something that can establish itself very quickly, we are picking locations where we can see the truck every 10, 15, 20 minutes. If we want to drive a repair program where we want to identify tires early enough for repair, so they can be sent off, maybe a strategic location near a fuel depot is okay, where you see the truck every 12 hours, right? So depending on what we want to drive, we pick those locations. Trucks are passing the system, our TireSight stations, where they get recorded. The PitCrew AI software then looks for damage in these recordings, and if damage is identified, PitCrew AI puts dimension around them. Those then being imported into our TOM system, where we have site-specific business rules set up, and those business rules help us and the customer to drive the goals on those mine sites. And we have incorporated a condition monitoring team that works with the output of the autonomous inspection system, and that works with our TOM system to close the communication gap, and to make sure that the AI model is being served with appropriate feedback out of its action, right? So the AI system producing and recommending work, and the condition monitoring team is going through that output and putting the human touch on it and say, this was good, this was bad, we want to action this, and this maybe later. And so we created this harmonic play of technology and our human team members, which makes up our TireSight product.
Well, as you said, Christian, obviously we don't have X-ray eyes just yet, but these systems effectively do, because you're using, I suppose, thermal imaging and some sort of smart sensors, and then relaying that data back across presumably some sort of low latency network. And then, as you say, human beings can come in and make a call on what to do next.
Correct.
Yeah, fantastic. Tell me a little bit about where we're at with this stuff. Are we just starting out? Are you starting to see significant deployments? How mature is it?
So at our beginning, when we met the folks of PitCrew, that was just a couple of months into COVID, and it made it very difficult because nobody was allowed to travel. We couldn't have common meetings, and we had to navigate those uncertain times. I think in hindsight, it allowed us to make the TireSight platform more better, because as we were, for example, not allowed to deploy the first system by ourselves on the mine site, and we had to use people that were already on mine site due to those COVID restrictions. Very early, we strive to have a lot of autonomous and remote controlling features within the system. Also, the first, or not the first, but the Pitco version was a version that is solar powered and works well in countries like Australia or other similar climate countries. Here in Canada, we needed a cold weather proof version with heated camera housings and heated batteries, and being able to withstand the minus 45 Celsius in Canadian winter and for memory, for example. And so all of this allowed us to build quite a good platform that we have today, and we, depending on where we are on the globe, can either deploy a solar powered or a generator or grid powered that can withstand all the temperatures from minus 45 to plus 45. Today we are looking at more than 10 installations already in countries like Canada, in Chile, in Colombia, and our partner Pitco themselves has deployed a number of systems. So I think there is a very good amount of interest from customers in this type of technology.
And Christian, you're with these customers every day. Anything you advise them in terms of being able to take advantage of this? Very briefly, any tips and tricks for getting the most out of the technology?
So I think very important is to have a problem that needs to be solved, right? Like with any technology, if we just add it on the mine site, it's just one of the systems that exist on those mine sites and starting to produce some sort of output. And so, for example, for us, as part of the pre-sale cycle, is to work with the customer and to find out what's the specific problem that we want to solve deploying that technology, and then going after that problem, right? The problem could be reducing downtime for inspections. We have one customer where we deployed TireSight, and in this example, to inspect the machine, the truck had to come out of his production circuit, and being out of the production circuit, being inspected, and then driving back into starting production, took a machine out for 35 minutes out of that cycle. And there we introduced condition-based inspections, meaning the TireSight system is inspecting all trucks, and only those who have damage and get flagged as having damage going for secondary inspection and then being inspected by a human team member. Customer looked at his operations and then found out that since the introduction of that concept, they're producing more material, moving more material to the crusher. Everyone scored at this example, right?
So you want to go inside, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And finally, Christian, tell me what's next? You continue to work with your partners on research and development, and is there a next improvement that you have in your sights you could share with us?
So we just have renewed our agreement with Pitco AI, and we signed a 5-year extension, or 5-year extension of our agreement as the preferred mining partner for Pitco AI. And I think there's 2 roadmaps in place. There's the Pitco technology roadmap in place that is owned by the folks of Pitco AI, led by Tim. And they're looking at making the platform more rigid, expanding capabilities so it can handle all sorts of different environments and all other challenges that a mine site can throw on a new technology. And there is the TireSight roadmap, where we try to find potential other sensors that we encounter on mine sites that we can add into the mix of information that our condition monitoring team already seeing, so we can be more predictive and more precise with our recommendations to our customers to react to our customers' goals and needs, right? And some of those is finding more tires for repair more early, right? Because if you repair a tire early, the cost of the repair is smaller, and the turnaround time most likely shorter, and you can prolong tire life, right? Taking technicians out of exposure to heavy equipment wherever possible, because that comes with an inherent risk of danger.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this edition. It's been an absolute pleasure and an eye-opener to understand so much about how tire technology is affecting the mining sector. Do join us again next time. So from me, Martin Veach, and from Christian Erdelyi, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.